offer solutions to the environmental challenges we face in each aspect of our life. With and for the next generation, we inspire, inform, and call to action. Our students, many who you see up here, lead strong programs, advocacy initiatives, major digital campaigns on their campuses to make unjust just. All the while, we continue mentoring youth to be the change that they wish to see in our world. In fact, it's because was a finalist in one of our programs called Project Green Challenge. It's an annual global initiative for high school and college students from all corners of the earth. Sarah was one of our finalists out of 3,000 participating students, and she was flown to San Francisco, where we met for the first time. She attended Green University, which is our annual sustainability conference, with all of these students from all different places. We met Sarah and her dad at that time. His name is Juan, and we were invited to Bogota to speak at her school. I, for the previous year, had dreamed about coming to Colombia, and this was my great, wonderful opportunity. We came to speak, this is my daughter and Sarah at the Newman School, and fell in love with your country and with Bogota. Now I will tell you about the road to the conscious kitchen, which is my topic for today. A key focus for Teens Turning Green is food justice, sustainable agriculture, and education around these themes. 3 years ago, we launched a program called Eco Top Chef to bring an understanding of healthy food to middle school students in my home community. To accomplish that goal, we paired middle school students from 7 schools with 7 very high-profile professional chefs from the Bay Area. The goal was to teach them and learn about the preparation of healthy meals. The semester-long extracurricular program includes visits to farms, as you can see here, green grocers, farmers markets, and the kitchen of the partner chef. And it culminates with the planning, preparation, and presentation of a fresh, local, organic, seasonal, sustainable, non-GMO, and zero-waste meal. The meals have a cap on their cost, $3 per person, and they must exceed the United States nutritional guidelines, which are weak at best. The budget of $3 is what our federal government allocates for school lunch to those that can't afford to pay. But 65% of that $3 goes to labor, which leaves about $1.25 for a main course, a side dish, a fruit, and a milk. And all these items are mandated by the USDA. So picture what you can eat for $1.25. Last year, during Eco Top Chef, we offered to support one of the schools who wanted to apply what they were learning from our program to change the way the food was being served at their school. Bayside MLK Academy in Marin City raised their hands and asked for help. After visiting MLK and observing the food service and waste disposal, many of the meals had been tossed uneaten into the trash cans. We decided to bring a concept to life that I had been thinking about for many years. We requested and easily got permission from the school district to do a week-long pilot preparing and serving school lunches that met our criteria. Again, fresh, local, organic, seasonal, non-GMO, and zero waste. Criteria that everyone told us could never be achieved. And so the challenge began. With a local celebrity chef from Marin County, Justin Everett of the Cavallo Point Lodge, a 5-star eco resort 5 minutes from Marin City, we began to design the menus for that week. Our goal was to see how the children at this school would respond to this kind of food and the concept of fresh, local, organic, which was completely foreign to them at that time. The week-long pilot was an immense success. 150 students, along with their teachers, loved the food, coming back for second and third helpings. There was little to no waste from the meals and plenty of well-nourished, happy students at the end of the week. Success. 150 children are subsidized by the federal government. There's $2 for breakfast and $3 for lunch each day, minus the 65% that would typically go to labor. But we supported the labor, so all of the money for food is spent on food. Teachers pay $3 to $4 per meal, which allows us to fund a full-time student intern that's a person from the local community. The school board approved 2 union staff members to work with our chef in the kitchen. The kitchen opened for business on the first day of school, August 28, 2013. Tables were set with china, flatware, and flowers. The room looked nothing like what any of these students had ever seen in their lives. In just 3 months, we went from a hope and an idea to the reality of the Conscious Kitchen. As the children trickled into the refreshed space, they weren't quite sure what to expect. After the first week, we knew the Conscious Kitchen would have a great impact on the well-being of these students and the staff, create opportunities to build community that were never there before, and nourish the children in this small school in the most underserved neighborhood in Marin County. We are just starting to quantify the impacts and staggering positive results from the past 10 months, but here is a glimpse. Discipline cases, down 75%. Students arriving on time, up 50%. Engagement and attention in class, strictly anecdotal at this time. The teachers are saying it's off the charts. Student leadership has increased, again, to an unprecedented level. We call this success. We started a Conscious Kitchen Student Advisory Board. Young leaders from 3rd through 8th grade come to bi-weekly meetings to help with recipes, feedback on what the chef should do with menus. They put on their aprons, they help prepare, serve, and clean up after every meal. Ambassadors rotate weekly to work in Chef Justin's 5-star kitchen with his team, honing skills for their future. So now the question, why am I sharing all this information about a program in California? And why am I here in front of you in Bogota? I mentioned a few minutes ago that this past October, we hosted Teens Turning Green, an annual global initiative called, the Teens Turning Green hosted an annual global initiative called Project Green Challenge to engage and inspire high school and college students to transition from conventional to conscious living. About 3,000 students took part this year, and at the end of 30 days, 15 students from around the world were selected and flown to San Francisco to compete in the challenge that we call Green University. Sara Mira from Colombia was one of the esteemed group. Yay, Sara. We came to Bogota to speak at Sara's school. We were met with open arms at the airport by Sarah, her dad Juan, and her mom Monica. Our first stop was to a vegetarian restaurant in Centro Histórico called Quinoa e Amaranto. My first taste of Bogota. It was a vegetarian restaurant that sourced food from many women's co-ops throughout the country. I loved it here from that moment on. With my daughter translating, I talked to the owner, Magdalena, and told her about the Conscious Kitchen. She got so excited and told me that we must walk over to her friend's restaurant right then. She explained that her friend's passion was to do the Conscious Kitchen for schools in Bogota. She took off her apron, asked us all to follow her, and we journeyed through the streets of Bogota to Reverde Ser. It is there that I met my friend Marcela. Her face lit up as we told her our story. She asked many questions, dreaming that this too could happen in her country. And then I knew why I had been drawn to Bogota, and that I would do all in my power to help make this dream become a reality. So here I am. The day after I met Marcela, she organized a meeting with Carolina, executive director of Red Papas, to talk further about the opportunity. My goal was to identify one school, either public or private, to pilot the Conscious Kitchen, and bring fresh, local, organic, seasonal, non-GMO food to their dining program to prove that it is not only possible, but a vital step toward the health and well-being of our children and of our planet. During our visit, we got to know the lay of the land, thanks to Juan Mira. We visited an organic farm, met with a group of organic farmers from all over Colombia, and began to understand the supply chain in this country. We visited an organic food co-op that sources from 26 farmers and artisans. We met with environmental and nonprofit leaders to share our story. We went to this co-op. We checked out the natural food market, Bio. We visited the Ministry of the Environment, and were completely inspired by everything that we saw and felt. We ate great food at many restaurants, at as many restaurants as we could find that were serving fresh, local, organic food coming from all throughout your country. After being totally inspired by our hosts in Bogota, we invited Marcela to come and observe our Conscious Kitchen in California for a couple weeks. We wanted her to really, truly understand what we were doing and why. At the end of each day, she would come back to my home, and I would see her face light up as she told the stories of the Conscious Kitchen, what she had experienced, and how excited she was to think about the prospect that somehow, some way, the same magic might happen at schools in her country. I'm going to show you a brief film that we made while Marcela was in our kitchen so you can feel the heart.
It's been a great addition. You have some fresh ideas, some fresh air. She's such a good warmth to the kitchen. She just has, she's so appreciative and so grateful for the experience here and to learn from us, and we've also learned from her.
La Cocina Consciente es como un generador